This episode of On Stage is brought to you in part by Who's the Boss, Saturday, September 28th at the People's Ballroom, 3340 Main Street, Hartford, Connecticut. For tickets, you can visit their Eventbrite page, Jamski's Restaurant, Dunn's River Restaurant, or Benji's Jamaican Restaurant. For more information, stay tuned to On Stage TV's social media pages.
Reggae Queen Marcia Griffiths,
You're moving too hard.
as she brings home to Jamaica the culmination of her 60th anniversary celebration.
Lift your voices, darling.
Meet Olaf Blackwood, the California-based
Nobody is coming.
Jamaican artist with massive global success that you'll probably be hearing about for the first time. All coming up right here on our stage. Welcome to the show, everyone. I am Winford Williams. We'll be right back.
This episode of On Stage is brought to you in part by Who's the Boss, Saturday, September 28th at the People's Ballroom, 3340 Main Street, Hartford, Connecticut. For tickets, you can visit their Eventbrite page, Jamski's Restaurant, Dunn's River Restaurant, or Benji's Jamaican Restaurant. For more information, stay tuned to On Stage TV's social media pages.
And this is where we have you meet Olaf Blackwood, the California-based Jamaican with global reach that may surprise you, as was recorded last week. Who is the LA-based Jamaican pop reggae dancehall artist known as Olaf Blackwood?
Nobody is coming to save you.
For starters, he has a single, I Need You, that has garnered over 100 million streams on Spotify and 27 million views on YouTube. Olaf has also collaborated and wrote for some of the biggest names in music. Names like Beenie Man, Spice, Maxi Priest, Bounty Killer, Bugle, Shaggy, and more. Right now, right here on our stage, Olaf. Olaf, sir.
Much respect.
Good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations for all your achievements.
Thank you, sir.
Are you really a Jamaican?
Yeah, I was born and raised in St. Elizabeth. To the core.
But I have to ask you that again because it's unbelievable that you're doing so well, such great work,
Right.
that we're all getting glory from, Jamaicans, and we don't know you that well. We should know more about you, shouldn't we?
Yeah, and to be fair, I kind of left Jamaica for a while, a good 13 years before I actually came back. And the music that I was doing is mainly pop at the time. So now that I'm actually working on, completing my reggae album and, becoming the new brand ambassador for Lifespan, I'm in Jamaica a lot. So people will know more about me soon, hopefully.
Okay, so go back to those big numbers that we just
The
got.
names, yeah.
And some of those big names. And so for Beenie Man, for example, what's your work with him?
Well, I did, it's actually a Beenie Man and Maxi Priest collab with a very good friend of mine, Taz, who's an artist as well. You know, he's always keeping me in the loop with everything that's going on, really unique, producers that, he likes. So he sent me a track and then we just collaborated on it, and that's how that one came about.
Shaggy,
I've known Shaggy for many, many years, and I work a lot with him. Even that record, my biggest record to date, which is I Need You, I got introduced to the producer through Shaggy. So I've been working with Shaggy for many, many years. I met Shaggy through Sharonberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Warlord, Bounty Killer.
Bounty Killer, Rum Blood, my brother. That's who made that connection. Yeah. And then Killer and I are like, it's like a bigger brother to me right now. And somebody actually who was influenced my career like way when I just started. So it was my uncle and then Bounty. So I used to sing over his songs. I changed the word, to fit what I wanted to say. Yeah. So he's a huge influence on my career.
Okay. And of course, Maxi Priest. So what did you do for Maxi?
I wrote the song with Beenie Man and Maxi. I wrote, co-wrote it with Taz, yeah.
Let's pause a bit and let's take this collaboration.
With Shaggy, yeah.
With Shaggy, right?
Loud. Yo, the place loud, brother, but you don't know. Just bend out the man and come lock it off, star. Jokes. I tell him, man, right now, I'm there wait for a big W from Shaggy, you know, because I'm going to jerk down uptown Monday Stadium with it later, you know. Yeah, man. See, boss, yeah. Yo, I go on Olaf. Yo, Shaggy. Tell me they wait for the W, you know, me J.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
So you say engineer ready?
Long time.
Right up, man.
Yo, this is Shaggy alongside Olaf. Boom, boom, large up yourself. Alright, yeah, every time. Salute to it, you know, say, yo, hey, them Babylon boy, I need for loud dance business now. Are you me? Pull up for me, selector, pull up for me. Pull up for me, them tuna full of style. Pull up for me, selector, pull up for me. Are you me? Them style, you murder.
When this a big tune bus, bassline roll, light as them up the post get out of control. This a murder. Tell selector pull it as a murder. Say when the dance get nice, lick up on ice, hold on pan a auntie and a bubble all night. This a murder. Pull up the selection cause a murder. Hey, hey. Well if you never know, this a music yeah we make your bubble pan the flow. One thing about Jamaican, yeah, we love we stage show. Dance it a keep and everybody happy go. At this so nothing know, we party every night. Know me catch a vibes and you see me spliff a light. Pocket full of money, everybody living nice. Strictly peace and love, nobody nah broke no fight. Such a joyous delight. When this a big tune bust, bassline roll, light as them up the place get out of control. This a murder. Tell selector pull it as a murder. When this a big tune bust, bassline roll, light as them up the place get out of control. Tell selector pull it as a murder. Say when the dance get nice, lick up on ice, hold on pan a auntie and a bubble all night. This a murder. Pull up the selection cause a murder. Hey, hey.
Hear me no man. Rhythm it so sweet, make me jump on the version. Pop a couple bottles, celebrate me earth strong. If a downtown you grow or a uptown you from.
All right, so who are you in Main Street? How well known are you in the Main Street, global Main Street?
Global, well, I mean, like when you go to places like Romania, Papua New Guinea, Germany, Sweden, Norway, places like that in Europe, like EDM and pop music, which is where I got my mainstream success. They're familiar with the name Olaf Blackwood, and definitely with this, with the voice, considering the amount of streams that's gotten. I performed at the Amsterdam Arena. We did 80,000 people.
But most of this time you've been based offshore Jamaica.
Yep, California.
And so to take us back to where from in Jamaica?
Born and raised in St. Elizabeth. So I grew up in Lacovia, but I used to be in Kingston a lot because we didn't have any recording studio. So I went to Ocherius first as a 16-year-old at Garnet Silk Recording Studio. So this is where I did a lot of my earlier works. I came to Kingston, entered the Tasty Talent Contest and did really good in that. And then met Sharon Burke, and from there I started like traveling small islands with like Sean Paul and them and Vegas to do a bunch of shows. And then leaving Jamaica to New York City for a good couple of years, and then California. So I'm like pretty much like a rolling stone, man, like a nomad, just traveling.
So your early years were voicing as an artist.
Right, but I mainly like I used to try to emulate, even though Killa had a lot of influence early, I didn't really have the tone. So I would sing more like a Garnet Silk or like a Capleton. So, at that time, I mainly used to DJ and sing J kind of vibe. The singing stuff started later after I learned to play the guitar. Working a normal job in New York City. I was working at a print marketing company by Wall Street. And then that was good for a while, and I tragically lost my brother about 3 years after that. And, if you're familiar with like my music, it's like soulful stuff. So I wasn't able to sing because it would just be too painful to deal with. So I stopped singing, started playing soccer. And then I moved to California. And then got right into the music. Literally, pretty much as I moved to California, I started, working with, people like Doja Cat, with, Yeti Beats and all of them out in LA, and here we are.
You speak about that environment for you, a Jamaican from St. Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. How
do you how do you get the attention you've garnered in living in LA?
It started with an act of kindness. A headphone company, I guess Ian Thomas or Thompson, former professional soccer player. He has his own headphones, and they somebody from his sales team reached out. I used to make like amateur YouTube videos and stuff and posted it, and they reached out saying, "Hey, we'd like to send you 2 headphones." So they sent me 2 Bluetooth headphones, kind of like the Beats by Dre. And I'm like, well, Shaggy is in town. Maybe I could just go see him and then give him one, and then ask him if I could take a photo to just give back. It wasn't required, but I just thought I'd do something back to help these people out. So I called him, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be at the studio recording. So I went over there. Happened to be about 2 minutes from my house. So I went to the studio, waited until he's finished recording, and gave him the headphones. And then he introduced me to Fernanda Garibay, who at the time was doing a lot of the Lady Gaga stuff and Sia and Bruno. He's like a massive, pop songwriter. So that's where I did a lot of my writing, and that's because of Shaggy. Like when you get introduced by somebody as respected like that, it's kind of like people want to take, take a minute to actually hear what you have to say, and then you have to go there. Now you have to actually put in the work, which is like now you have to like write and then learn the business of songwriting and to be able to develop yourself in your craft.
And as you grow, where was Jamaica in your consciousness?
I mean, it never left. I mean, it's still in my voice. It's all of everything that I was doing. But I realized playing the guitar had a massive influence on how I started to do music and what I sounded like. Because then with the guitar, you started learning strummings, and I didn't know how to do the reggae scat pattern, which is very hard to play. So I would normally play like more pop-driven stuff. So that's how, but reggae never left me. I mean, like I grew up on a sound system. More than enough man where you see I run up and down them, literally just running our studio. Me, I got a sound. Since like big selector mic for the EG and everything.
But were you targeting Jamaica? Did you want to impress Jamaica?
I think a part of
Jamaica.
It's yes and no. I think a part of you will always want to be crowned in your own spot, and that's ever fleeting because we all know that it doesn't really happen. But I've always wanted to get the respect of my not just my peers but my countrymen, and but then the kind of music that I do and the voice that I have and what I'm able to do with it, would push me to the world, which kind of just opened up my mind to like a much broader way of looking at it.
Tours. Where have you toured?
I haven't done a lot of tours. I've joined people on tours. I've been like like places like in Europe, all over California, and then spot dates during in the Caribbean.
With those numbers you have, where are your fans? Where are they located?
Well, I mean, I actually have like a chart app that I pay for to see whenever I have a record release, where it's number one, where it's charting, and the whole bit, and it's pretty much everywhere. It's in like there's a place called Papua New Guinea, which is close to Australia. I have a record that I released in 2018, completely independent, and it's an anthem. If you just go on YouTube and look it up, it's the craziest thing. It's like a massive, people know it word for word, and so as far as like my fans, it's pretty much everywhere, like everywhere, but mainly in places like in Europe. Even though the record, my biggest record still went number one in the US and the Billboard and the whole bit, the vast majority of people who support my music are in Europe.
How would you critique Jamaica and our approach to marketing our brand, our music?
In terms of what, like just
in terms of our approach to marketing our music, because numbers, we believe that Jamaican should be getting bigger, better numbers.
Right, they should be
from the mainstream.
Yeah, it should be. I implore anybody, just look up Gregory Isaac and any one of those artists touring places like Japan. They have stadiums.
Yes.
The biggest dancehall and reggae acts today, like especially from here, are doing clubs. A lot of them. I mean, like Sean Paul and Shaggy are like a few exceptions and a few other people. But Gregory and them and pretty much all those guys did stadiums with people. Like if you don't leave Tiger, look at Tiger like places like in Japan. So it's like now I feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like we've kind of settled. Reggae is nowhere near where it should be. For starters, the Reggae Grammy isn't broadcast on television. And reggae has, influence genres like multiple genres: dub music, dubstep, reggaeton, Afrobeats, and quite a few others. So I don't think it's respected because it's literally given birth, to a lot of different genres. So I don't really think reggae is where it should be, streaming and otherwise.
But it sounds like you're saying we're regressing.
Yeah, most definitely. And a lot of people are trying to like put Band-Aid on bullet wound. And when you speak up, it's kind of like I'm doing this because of the passion. Like me as a youth from St. Elizabeth, Jamaica to my core, and I'm a patriot for my country, right? You know how much TV I mash up and watch Jamaica play football? Like it really means something for my culture. And me I tell the man them, the business where it's at, whichever artist we look at as like the top, look at the numbers, it add up. And you have like big reggae crossover records like, the Maroon 5 or the other guys that, Amos Lee, and a bunch of guys who would like, would do a reggae song and it becomes like super massive. You have like Big Mountain, for example, and they do like a reggae song and it's massive. But then we need to see the same thing from the Jamaica. We need to see the Bad Boys, which is like a reggae song, have that level of like lasting impact, where it's like shifting and moving cultures. Yeah.
So you say to artists, you say to producers, you say to management of our music, what?
Well,
What do you say to-
specifically to the artists, learn the business. That's the first thing. Learn everything you can about contracts so you don't sign bad deals. Learn everything about, getting better at what you're doing. And also the younger artists, them coming in now, respect the pillars. Without knowledge of oneself and where you're coming from, you can't know where you go. You don't reinvent the wheel, you make cooler tires. It's already there. The blueprint is there for what we do. Appreciate it, respect it, and play reggae music. And like Mwanga, I want to party and hear reggae, like a garnet silk, as I mentioned before, in at the heart of the juggling, like Bounty told you recently, when I play Afrobeats in a core. And these are all spawns of reggae or dancehall.
Yes.
So I need to see that. Maybe have like a cultural moment, like the Heineken Star Time mindset where cultural moment. I want it to be treated kind of like the national anthem where you don't have to sing along, but when you hear it, you have to respect it.
Yes.
And we live in a culture of like, in time done. In time done, no work America. You can't in time done with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Queen. It's like, that's legend. When you're around them, you pay respect and pay homage. So I want the mindset to change.
Well, Bridging, I hope these are not going on, what you're saying, not going on deaf ears.
Yeah.
Across
I
the
would
space,
hope.
right?
I would hope.
I mean, because we believe the same thing that you were just saying.
Yeah, man. What's up?
There's so much out there to be gained.
Mhm.
And we're not really exploiting the potential
Mhm.
that's out there. And all those legends, those poor people
Right.
who
Who started? Yes, exactly.
this music.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How do they feel about what's going on now? Yeah, I mean,
We
they've
completely
gone-
discard them, to be honest with you, and with
Yes.
again with the mindset of like, I'm time done, like next person. Yeah, with the next person, great, but we also, the blueprint is there, right? The point of reference, like when I could, be around a bounty killer, you will never be able to, in my personal opinion, anybody that you cut your teeth on, like their music, and you've essentially crafted your own sound and yourself through their body of work. There's a certain level of respect that needs to go like with that. Doesn't matter where they are and what they're doing, and you need to understand that. Me not see that in the business today. There's way too much. We still are sing about the same thing over and over, and it's usually negative. And people are like, well, make them say what they want to say. Yeah, to a certain point, you can't go in a church and cuss bad word. So what about make them say, no, you have, yes, sir, it no work, yes, sir. And we need to have people who have to stand up and remove them feelings, be objective about the situation, understanding the trajectory
Yes.
of where this whole thing is going and the moral decay that's constant, right? Like, understand that the youth, them now take things that's being said seriously. When I used to watch a Kung Fu movie back in the day, I know it's just movie. I don't go out there and, like you play around, but you just know it's movie. You hear a bounty killer gunman song. I don't believe killer is on any FBI most wanted list, for any crimes. So we look at it as just the work. Artists need to take responsibility for what they must say, and we need for them to guide them youth. Allow them to be creative, but there's more we can do, personally.
I believe so too, sir. I share that. Family. To speak about your family for us. Your own family and your family from St. Elizabeth. and
Yeah.
Your own family. How you stay with that?
Yeah, it's I'm super passionate about family. I grew up with my grandparents, and everybody who's raised me is no longer here, which probably explains why I write a lot of the songs I do. But I do have like my siblings and a bunch of people like in St. Elizabeth, all over Canada too, and my daughter is in Canada as well. Yeah, I'm pretty good, pretty cool. But mainly just friends though, and friends that I grew up with that I'm still cool with. Yeah.
Wow. Reggie,
Yeah, man. Much
bless
respect.
you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, man.
I hope people are listening.
Yeah.
Especially artists, young artists. All right, so that's him, Olaf Blackwood. And stay with us right here on our stage, still to come. Reggae Queen Marcia Griffiths, as she celebrates 60 years in reggae as a recording star. We'll be right back.
This episode of On Stage is brought to you in part by Who's the Boss, Saturday, September 28th at the People's Ballroom, 3340 Main Street, Hartford, Connecticut. For tickets, you can visit their Eventbrite page, Jamski's Restaurant, Dunn's River Restaurant, or Benji's Jamaican Restaurant. For more information, stay tuned to On Stage TV's social media pages.
On Stage with Winford Williams.
As a member of the I3s, led by Bob Marley, Marcia Griffiths was a core participant in reggae's global onslaught. As a soloist, Griffiths' Electric Boogie not only hit the Billboard charts, the record also spawned an eternal global dance craze known as the Electric Slide.
I'll teach you the electric slide.
The beloved queen of reggae is on our stage right now as she brings the culmination of her year-long global 60th anniversary celebration home to Jamaica. Right now, right here on our stage, Marcia Reggae Queen Griffiths. Marcia, whoa. Whoa. The congratulations, long so.
Well, I'm thankful. I'm truly thankful.
Oh, it's always so good to have you. You're just coming out of Brazil. Just take us back to that event. How did it go?
Well, Brazil was the last place for the celebration performance before coming here. But we went to Canada, in Toronto, 2 shows.
Yes.
And all the shows that I've been doing within this year, they're all in celebration for my 60th. We went to Vermont, New York, Martha's Vineyard, that's down in Boston. And Brazil, we did 2 wonderful shows there. And the love that I got in Brazil is enough to last me for a decade.
Oh, wow, so I
Yes.
heard you got the
Yes.
royal treatment in Brazil. Yeah? Let's pause a bit and take a little piece of what happened.
Lift your voices, darling. Have mercy. Don't let me down.
All right, so that's it. That's the taste of what happened in Brazil for the Queen of Reggae. And from what I heard, it was fantastic. But give us your perspective.
I am so full and rejuvenated right there in Brazil with the love that I received from the audience. It was overwhelming and it's so strange. The songs I performed, I have never done them. I mean, I could say in my entire career since I recorded them.
Yes.
Because songs like Don't Let Me Down, My Love, Hurting Inside, these are the songs that they love and know very well.
So that is still so, because many Jamaican artists have gone to Brazil and are surprised about some songs that they don't even pay any attention to.
I had to actually learn some of the
catalog.
lyrics
Right,
because I've totally forget them.
right. And they're very popular in
Yeah.
Brazil. So the same happened to you.
I could stand on the stage and
Yes.
just have the audience singing those songs.
My goodness. So they don't copy the world. They're always different from how other markets, other people, other fans
Totally.
consume our music. Because even artists who are not really break out as such
Yeah.
over in Jamaica. Or
No,
over
it's
in the
true.
side.
It is true.
They are popular in Brazil.
Big time.
And they are shocked. They go there.
I mean, for example, Lloyd Parks is a big artist there.
Yes, Lloyd is. I didn't know. And they want him to perform the song. And
Yeah,
all
I remember
that.
going there with Bob Andy couple years ago, and this song that was the biggest song for Bob Andy, he didn't know it.
He didn't even know him own song.
Not from it was recorded.
You drop a song and you love it,
Yeah.
and then Brazilians take it up.
Yes.
And they make it.
I
into
love
a
it
hit
though.
in
I love
Brazil.
it. I love it.
So you might have to be going back down there very soon based on this response.
Honestly, as much as it was so different and special, the distance makes a difference for me.
The traveling.
Yes.
Oh Lord. the
It's
flight.
it's too far. It's like going to Europe or, you know.
All right. So you're gearing up now for the final leg of this year's celebration here at home in Jamaica. So speak to that for us.
I don't think the world has ever seen what we have in store to present on November 3rd. Because this is where actually like a climax from the beginning of this year. And we are actually doing the journey since the decade of the 60s.
Yes.
And so far I've collaborated with 50 artists, but unfortunately we wouldn't be able to have the 50 artists on this show. But we chose, you know, a few of the artists I collaborate with. So the people are the ones who made it possible that I could be able to see 60 years in the business. So I'm asking everyone to come and let us do it all over again. So we start in the 60s. Unfortunately, Tony Gregory is the only one that's left from that decade that I collaborate with. But we'll have Bob Andy performing on the screen with me, because we could never leave Bob Andy out of. That was, you know, a special part of my journey. And then we move on the 70s, where whomever came, the I3s, right up until present.
So
Well, we actually did one in Florida, and everyone was amazed because they have never seen anything like that. The concept is just totally different.
I was there. We covered it. Remember?
Yes.
And it was fantastic. It was lovely. And so this will be similar to the one we saw in Florida?
Yes, but much better, much more.
Well, this is home.
Yes, much more, because we have artists that we are not able to advertise, surprise guest artists that I know they're going to love. And these are people that I collaborate with.
So there was a launch at the Jerry and Nephew building in New Kingston. And we got some reaction from some of the attendees. So let's pause for a bit and hear what some of them are saying about you.
Sister Marcia, you are simply amazing, and you will indeed sing as long as you I love you.
She's Marcia Griffiths to me, she's my mother, and I'm very proud of her. So, just love, you know?
Of course, you know, it's a legendary occasion, you know what I mean? We're here to support the Queen of Reggae, not only as a family member, but as a member of the entertainment industry. We're just here and proud of our accomplishment, and it's something to be emulated and something to be celebrated, you know? So we're just there, all our good vibes in general.
Marcia Griffiths is the story of reggae music, and if a story is ever to be told truthfully, you would have to listen to Marcia Griffiths, because she has been there from about the knee to the ankle to the hip. She has been there, and her work speaks so beautifully for itself. She's one of very few Jamaican artists who have had the ability and the opportunity to break a song internationally that never ever will die. And doing this thing for 60 years, knowing how difficult this music business is, this is something that we all should celebrate, because we don't see very many around these days. And she's still here, and she's still going on, and looks like there's no stopping inside.
So what do we say to Marcia at 60? We say, we know that 60 more is unlikely in the flesh, but you have given us a foundation for reggae that we cannot repay you for. And we are saying, for as long as you continue to sing, we will continue to support you. Happy birth month for November, and we wish you all the best for this show. We will certainly be there celebrating 6 decades of a queen with you.
She's special. Marcia Griffiths was just such a talent, such a beautiful voice. She's a Jamaican treasure, and she has lived a life that's really encouraging. It's special. We toured the world with her, and she was just a special lady. And I think her contribution is unparalleled.
Those are some of the comments we got from fans and associates of Marcia Griffiths at the launch for this big culmination of her 60th anniversary celebration in Jamaica. I'm sure that you were very pleased with what happened at the launch.
Yes, it was satisfying, and the turnout was overwhelming, and it was all positive, good energy, positive vibration. So we're taking it straight to stage in Hope Gardens on November 3rd. That same positive energy that we are moving on now.
And tickets are already out and going.
Yes.
I'm sure it will be well attended. It will be a great event. Already it is looking that way already.
It would be very sad for anyone to miss this experience because, as I said earlier, they have never seen anything. It's not like a regular show that you would go and artists, come up and perform. The concept is different.
Who should be expected? So you want to tell the audience who are some of the people that they should expect?
Artists that are confirmed is we have Shaggy, Tessan, Nadine, Aline, Brick and Lace. And I mentioned these ladies because we have a special arrangement where I do, something with all of the sisters. Okay. And these are sisters that always tell me how much I've inspired them. So we're going to be doing something right there on stage with the sisters, a special treatment. So in the 90s, I collaborated with Cutty Ranks. He's also on Busy. Just to name a few, but as I said, most of the artists that is established, we have a beautiful surprise for everyone.
So the format will be the same as the Florida show?
Same format, yeah. Similar.
Special with you hosting.
Yeah.
That was great.
No, because, a lot of people came late because they're saying, oh, Marcia going on last and all that. But never realizing from the curtains open, I hit the stage and I'm there right up until the end.
Yes. She was really, let me tell you, she was the host of that event. She was hosting, and where possible or necessary, she inject one of the songs, and so it was beautiful. Totally unexpected. So make sure you go early so you can see her in a role that you have never seen her in before. And it was great. The people loved it in that venue in Florida. Okay.
But I need to say one thing, Winford. This is not a situation where we are saying that we're going to start at this time and it's an hour or 2 hours after, because we have a time limit. And once we say we're starting at this time, we're starting at that time, no matter how many people is in the venue.
So they better be early.
So they can't afford to miss it because it's a journey and it starts somewhere.
Yes.
So you have to be there to begin the journey right up until the end.
Absolutely. To really enjoy it, you need to be there.
Yes.
And I can guarantee you're going to be very happy that you attended. Okay? Marcia, all the best. I know that the celebration continues. I think it's going to go into next year.
Well, for me, sky's the limit, because I am truly thankful that God has preserved me, that I can live. I would never imagine that when I walked on stage in 1964, 60 years after, I'd still be here in the business, relevant, consistent, and God has preserved me. I am not in the hospital. So I'm truly thankful that God Almighty preserved me. But what would I be without my fans, whom I love dearly, who have now become my family? So they're responsible for everything that is happening now. So I'm just asking them to come on out and let's do this journey all over again.
Okay.
With me.
With you.
Yeah.
All the way. Well, I'm with you.
All right. Amen.
All right.
Amen to that.
Could you just share some of your biggest moments in the 60 years?
Well, after 60 years, there could never be no one moment for me. There are quite a few special moments that stands out in my mind and will always be there. Because I cannot forget the moment when I walked on stage, walk out in Baltimore to 100,000 people and they were doing the electric slide. I was so stunned, I could not continue to sing. It was like a wave. Everyone, it was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe my eyes. And that's just for me as a solo artist, but I've had so many moments traveling and touring with Bob Marley. Oh, yeah. You know, Zimbabwe was a moment that stands out in my mind. You know, when we all ran away, and I've said this repeatedly, this story. We all ran away, leaving Bob, not knowing what was going on, and at the end of it all, when things got back to normal, he was just there, ready and willing to go down with his people, whatever the reason and the cause was, for the tear gas and the stampede and everything.
Yes. It was a big stampede.
He was ready to die with his people. He never go anywhere.
And this was because they heard his voice inside.
Yes.
Isn't it? And they wanted to be in there.
Yes.
But the stadium was at capacity.
Exactly.
And they had to close the doors. And that was the liberation moment.
Yes,
of
Mugabe.
Of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And the Queen was in attendance, wasn't it? Or
the Prince.
The Prince was in attendance. But people couldn't get in. And they heard Bob's voice.
Oh, gosh. They flattened the fence.
When they heard him sing.
Yes, they flattened the fence. And that was when the soldiers used the tear gas. But we didn't know all of this until everything came back to normal.
To normal.
And when we saw Bob at the end of it all, and he said, now we know who are the real revolutionaries.
Yes.
Because we all ran for our lives, not knowing, you know.
Wow. Because that song, Liberate Zimbabwe. What's the name of the track again? It's
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe is the name of the track. That Bob was playing all over the world.
Yes.
To people.
And now it was actually there.
And now it was happening. It shows how much he was doing for Africans in that moment.
Yes.
And then it was unfolding. And they're hearing it, and they're outside the car getting because it was overcrowded.
After hearing all of this from this man who they look up to, and now he's actually right there on the soil, and they are locked out. Oh my God!
I remember going to South Africa, myself and Rupert, and people were coming up to us, South Africans.
Yeah.
And they were telling us how they appreciate and want to thank Jamaica for what we have done for South Africa.
Yes.
I mean, it shocked me because I didn't expect anything like that. But once they heard that we were Jamaican, and they said that reggae was literally banned in South Africa during the apartheid era. You couldn't play reggae. They made sure that the music was not available to Africans because of the protest and the way Jamaican reggae artists were taking on the apartheid system and calling for the liberation and the freedom of Mandela and the rest of it. And when, I mean, they're thanking us.
The music actually freed Mandela.
And these were some kids from college who were telling us all this, that it was bad.
Yes.
They couldn't listen to reggae. You couldn't be buying records. Reggae records weren't available for them.
That's true. The power of the music.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's life. And I know that that is the reason. That was what released Nelson Mandela. Because everyone was just singing songs, sending out positive message, you know, for the release and the upliftment of Africans in Africa suffering everywhere. So it just went out and manifested and happened.
Yeah, it's the power of the music of which
It's the
you're
greatest, I think it's the greatest weapon we have on earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the people's
We
music.
just need to learn and to know how to use this weapon, because we have to be careful about the message that we are sending in the music. If it's not teaching, uplifting, uniting, educating, then, you know, we're on the wrong track.
It's everybody's music. It's relevant to all races, all people. This music that was created by poor people in Jamaica.
Yes. It's our life, our
people go to
culture.
it for all kinds of reasons. And I don't know that we in Jamaica understand the power and the impact that this music and the work of yourself.
I don't think they have a clue. I don't think so.
We're still trying to come to grips with how powerful the music is. And it's unfortunate because the world can't get enough of it. The world is using it more than us right now.
I mean, take even Bob Marley. How long he has passed now? And he's the most relevant artist. And from the day he passed, he has been in the Billboard until this day. And he's one of the top sellers. And all the messages and everything that he sang about is relevant today. Everything is being manifested.
Because his music was about humanity. It's about human struggle.
Yes.
Regardless of whether you're white, black, pink, or whatever. Everybody can find a place in the catalog.
Yes.
You can find refuge. You can
Yeah.
find what they're looking for in the catalog of
Yes,
reggae.
yes.
Okay, you can go to reggae music and you will find something for whatever you're going through that can help you.
That's right.
And that's and that is part of what we need to remind our nation, our young people about, that what reggae has done for the world. It's still working for all the people of the planet.
Yes, that's true.
And so your work, my dear, is eternal. Your contribution will never be forgotten. Your 60 years is only a drop in the bucket.
Well,
you will be celebrated.
Let's put it this way, Winford. I
Forever.
have no doubt that I was given a God-given talent, and I know for sure that I'm on a mission from God, doing His work through the medium of music. So I'm thankful.
Oh, yes.
Whatever little contribution I've made, I am thankful when I travel and I hear people telling me what this song did for, you know, it is such a wonderful feeling. It just rejuvenates you, satisfies your soul, which, you know, music touches the soul, and that's so important.
We can thank you
No
enough.
doctor can do that.
We can thank you enough for your work, the work that you've done for all of us, because your work is always representing the rest of us. Your glory is our glory. Every Jamaican benefit from the work you and so many others have done for Jamaica with the music that came from the poorest among us.
Yes. Thank you. But I always say, I'm just an instrument. All the glory belongs to God. I'm just here doing what it was ordained to be.
Sister Mars, thank you again. All right, so that's her, our beloved queen of reggae, Marcia Griffiths, right here on our stage. And that's our show for this week, Winfred Williams, on behalf of all of us, thanking you for joining us. Do join us again next week for more On Stage.
Loser.